question today is, what makes good art? Before starting today's video, I'd like to mention that I think art is art because of its subjectivity. Now, because of that, I think that what makes good art can also seem a bit subjective too. Another thing that I want to mention is that today we have a focus on visual arts. Now, for my first impression, I think there are 4 things that make art good art. Those 4 things are personal connection, appreciation of skill, the success of the delivery of the intent, and last but not least, whether it's aesthetically pleasing or not. So according to Google, the 2 definitions of good are to be desired or approved of, or having the required qualities of a high standard. The definition of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as a painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. After hearing your opinions, my 4 things changed into 6 things, and now I'm going to be talking about them in detail. So that first idea is the idea of being able to connect to an artwork emotionally. So sometimes when we see symbols that remind us of our pasts or our wants or family members, people we know, we tend to really have this connection with it and tend to label it as good. I mean, for me, when I used to make artwork in my art class, I used to always think about how my audience will link to my art. And I think that's a huge factor to how sometimes we determine if an artwork is good or not. So the second thing is the idea of appreciating the skill behind an artwork. Now, I did DP/IB visual arts, and I had a friend that we called Lama, and we always had this debate, and my debate was it's always emotional connections within artworks that make it great or make it worthwhile. And she argued that that was a valid point, but also that practicing skill and really doing it for leisure was something that was okay too and made art good too. And now looking back at it, that's right. Like when I looked at her artwork, she always did things related to animals. I always shied away from that because I just didn't know how to make a message by just drawing an animal the way it really was. But her artwork really stood out to me because of the skill and because I saw the process of when she first started and then how she became. So I think that having that skill and really looking at something and seeing the effort that has been put into it is the thing that makes it good art. Number 3 is that idea of an artist successfully delivering the intention that they had while making the artwork. Now, I think some people think that the interpretation of an artwork in so many different ways is what makes it beautiful. And I agree, but I think that there's also a skill to making everyone think of what you were thinking while you were making an artwork too. So I think if an artwork has the capability to do something like that, it can also be labeled as good artwork.
Composition.
So that 4th idea is the idea of aesthetics. Sometimes people just like things because they look good, and I think it's okay to have such a simple idea of how something is good or an artwork is good. Sometimes if things just look pleasing to our eyes, we like them, and I think that's another aspect that makes art good. The ideas 5 and 6 were given to me by the audience, so thank you very much for that. Number 5 is the idea of originality in an art piece. This idea was given to me by my brother, and he was telling me that if something is original, new, out of the box, a lot of people tend to like it. Now, I also want to make it clear that I really can't define original right now as something bigger than that or even smaller because it's a whole other video by itself. But for now, let's keep it as out of the box and kind of new. Usually when someone copies something else, not a lot of people think it's good. They might appreciate the skill, but in terms of originality, people do look for it when they're trying to determine whether something is a good artwork or not. Number 6 is that idea of the audience influencing itself. Peer pressure. This idea was given to me by a friend called Duraid. If a collective thinks there's an artwork that's good, then maybe they can pressure one person into thinking it's good too. Now, some people think that they might not genuinely feel that it's good, but sometimes people pressure themselves because of society to find the good things and things that they might not really like. And, you know, that is a determiner actually, but it might not be the best. But I thought it was really important to kind of shine light on. Have your individual opinion. That's the beautiful thing about art, is that we can all share our opinions about what we think.
Peer pressure.
The unpopular opinion meme. You know, the
Tries to maintain his individuality.
So my final take is that there are 6 things that can determine whether something is a good artwork or not. Number 1 is that idea of our personal connection to it. Number 2, our appreciation of visible skill. Number 3 is that idea of a successful delivery of intent. Number 4, that idea of something being aesthetically pleasing. Number 5, its originality. Number 6 is what society thinks of it. Now let me be clear, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be endless amounts of ways that we can determine whether something or an artwork is good or not, because art is subjective. So if you have any ideas about, you know, what else makes a good artwork, please put them down in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I didn't upload last week, and it's because I started with the question of what makes art art, and I realized it was a bit too subjective. So I decided to change it halfway through into what makes good art, because I thought there were a few points that we could all relate to. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have other opinions. Please comment them down below. If you like the video, like it, share it with your friends. If you want to see more content like this every Thursday, please subscribe. That's an explored thought for today.